Melanie did gruesome things in order to have the life she wanted. How do you guys feel about her maintaining her innocence, even though the evidence proved otherwise? Do you think she was in denial or simply disassociated herself from the crime itself?
Oh, that's juicy.
Well, there's a lot of circumstantial evidence against Melanie, but that's what I think is so fascinating about this case, is that the actual physical evidence specifically to the condo in which her and Bill lived in, they couldn't find anything within that condo. And that's what I think, regardless of what you believe on either side of the case, you have to take that into consideration. Is, you know, they went in 4 or 5 times. They took piping from, you know, the sinks and to test it and found nothing. So regardless of which side you stand on, just, you know, on evidence alone, it's just really interesting based off of what the prosecution came to the courts with.
I'll chime in here. This is something we talked about endlessly on set as well. I do agree. There is, you know, if you look at the facts of the case, there's so many other things other than just, you know, the facts that were presented that even the discovery in the trial seemed like it was a bit off. So we're not even sure the facts that were presented, you know, are really all the information that's there. Now, there's no smoking gun evidence, but at the same time, Melanie has some really behavior that kind of looks like someone who would be guilty. So, I mean, and this is obviously very much just like the minimal amount that we can just say, like, you know, the case goes on and on, but for me, like, how did it affect me kind of coming in? It didn't. I mean, I played Bill the way I would play Bill. And do I think there's more to it? Do I think she was guilty? I don't know. I've got opinions on it, but I'd like to hear what everyone else has to say.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll take it just for a hair. I was kind of torn. I went in thinking she was guilty as charged. And then I started listening to the podcast, of course, and I started doing my own research. And then I realized the forensic evidence that was completely lacking versus circumstantial evidence. And it's crazy. I mean, you could get into the specifics of a few things, but I'm to this day am still pretty torn. But I mean, that's what makes it such a riveting story. And Lifetime did a good job. Nicole did a good job at not forcing you to choose sides within the movie, but just telling the story. And then from there, the audience can pick a side however they see fit. And then somebody can break Melanie out of jail and everybody will be happy. Boom.
Thank you.
I think that's what's so great about this film. I mean, the talent in it that tells the story and the directing of it, that it's this incredible roller coaster of back and forth. And there's moments where you're like, oh my God, you did it. Oh my God, you didn't do it. You know, and I think that I mean, unfortunately it's a real story, but I think that's what makes a true crime story to watch so appealing, is that there is so much back and forth. And it is such a sort of a ride that you go from one side to the other, and just makes it a really great true crime story.
Yes, and I would add, you know, throughout the entire time, it was pretty hard not to be torn because of seeing both accounts. But also our goal was to kind of keep it in a way that the audience can, in return, make their decision.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question.